All right. Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex.
And I'm Jay.
And we have some news updates for you from around the land of smiles today, this Monday, April 28th. Now, today we will be talking about a brutal murder and arrest in Pattaya. The new digital arrival cards being launched for travelers coming into Thailand, and a little later, 9 people who have been sentenced to death for drug smuggling in Vietnam. Before we begin, though, please remember to subscribe to the Thaiger to stay up to date on all things Thailand, and we'll hear a quick word from our sponsor, Chiang.
That's right. Our sponsor, EC Markets. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Trade a wide range of instruments on global markets, which include Forex, metals, crude oil, indices, and crypto. They've been in the market for more than 10 years with lower trading costs and better execution and safer financial services. Here's a public disclaimer. Invest at your own risk, but EC Markets has the tools to get you started.
Indeed. Thank you, EC Markets, for sponsoring the show. All right. This first story is the thing that everybody's been talking about over the weekend. It's been a pretty crazy story, and it's something straight out of a horror film. Let's dive in. A Chinese man has been arrested for the murder and dismemberment of a trans woman in Pattaya. A 42-year-old Chinese man, Tong Yung Fu, was arrested at Bangkok airport on 26th of April after allegedly murdering and attempting to dismember a transgender woman in a Pattaya hotel. No attempting about it, he actually did it. Police discovered the victim's body hidden in a bathroom, along with equipment suggesting plans to conceal or dispose of it. Witnesses reported hearing cries for help during a violent altercation the night before. CCTV footage showed the suspect fleeing with a suitcase early in the morning. Fu was apprehended at the airport before boarding an international flight and is now facing murder charges. A full forensic examination is underway.
Yeah, absolute shocker of a story. It's been going viral everywhere. A lot of people have been asking me about this personally as well. It's been a while since we've had such a wild case.
Yeah, I remember, I think last year there was a German man who had been chopped to pieces and put into a freezer. But this was, all right, it's a little bit more details about it. Like, apparently there was a dispute. This is at least the rumor mill, what's going on. Dispute about, she was a sex worker. He had hired her for the evening, but then apparently she did not want to deliver those services. He wanted his money back, and she wasn't giving it back. Some sort of dispute arose, escalated to the point of a physical attack and a murder. Apparently, the method of killing was strangulation at first, but then he went into full on, horror
mode.
Doctor mode. Started pulling out organs and things. Sorry, trigger warnings, I guess. But really sick, twisted stuff. So I'm very glad that they were able to catch him before he boarded the airplane.
Yeah.
And it will be brought to justice here in Thailand, where the crime was committed. And of course, the victim is Thai as well. So,
Yeah, well, speaking of crime, we're going to move on to our next story that takes us a little south to Phuket, where a sword-wielding man was arrested after a violent dispute in Phuket. A man was arrested in Phuket after brandishing a sword during a road rage incident on 25th April, sparked by a construction contract dispute. Now, video footage showed 32-year-old Natapon attacking 46-year-old Chat Chai after a deliberate car collision. Chat Chai sustained severe leg injuries requiring stitches, and Natapon fled but was later detained and charged with multiple offenses, including premeditated assault and methamphetamine use. His pickup truck and a 25-inch sword sheath were seized. Police are continuing their investigation.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Some methed out dude coming at you with a sword, ramming into you in traffic.
Yeah, I don't know if that's complete road rage. He planned it and slammed his car. Yeah, that is, in a way, premeditated assault.
Absolutely. Over some construction disputes. So I guess, when money gets involved, people end up going crazy. But certainly, sprinkling some methamphetamine on top of the issue is not going to de-escalate it. Fortunately, the victim is relatively okay, just traumatized, I imagine. But this man has been arrested and will be off the streets for the foreseeable future. So good news there. Sword wielding. My God. All right, on to our next story. So this one's raising a bit of controversy. It's about how people are behaving themselves when they go and visit national parks. Now, a tour operator has been fined for allowing beer and smoking at Phi Phi Islands. A tour operator was fined 10,000 baht after a video surfaced showing foreign tourists drinking beer and smoking cigarettes at Pile Lagoon in the PP Islands, violating national park regulations. The footage, widely shared online, sparked outrage and prompted a swift investigation. Officials confirmed the group's actions breached the National Park Act and issued a fine along with a formal warning. Authorities emphasized their commitment to preserving the natural environment and enforcing park rules.
I mean, this is another story highlighting, like, there are a lot of tourists coming in, and a lot of people just think they can do whatever they want. Oh, it's Thailand. What are they going to do about it? Let me drink my beers, and let me just throw my ash and smoke into the sea. Like, what are you doing, man?
Well, it should be up to the tour operator, too, to maybe let people know.
Yeah.
Like, they might not be aware of the rules, per se, where that's, the local operator is the one that's supposed to be telling them, hey, you can't do that.
But still, I think there's still a line. Like, someone just randomly smoking in the sea, throwing ash. Like, I think, yes, some people do need a reminder that, hey, this is a national park, or even if you're at a random beach, you shouldn't be doing that. There are signs across. Sometimes the tour operators do have to go out of their way to inform people, like, hey, you need to behave yourself. Here are the things you can't do. How much detail do you have to go to?
Yeah, that's true. That being said, there have been some rumblings about potentially lifting those laws, banning drinking in certain areas, or maybe charging a fee to do some drinking. So those laws are not in place yet. So for now, it's still breaking the rules. But maybe be patient, and you'll be able to do these with government sanctioning in a safe way. And obviously clean up after yourselves if you're out there having some fun.
Well, talking about cleaning up after yourself, our next story is talking about a tourist couple that sparks outrage over public indecency at Patong Beach.
Tisk.
Another reminder, you can't do whatever you want. A tourist couple reportedly of African descent caused public outrage after engaging in an explicit act on Patong Beach, Phuket. Classic. Witnesses said the act lasted nearly 15 minutes in full view of locals and tourists. Images and videos quickly spread online, prompting widespread condemnation and calls for stricter penalties. Authorities have yet to issue an official response. The incident adds to growing concerns over unruly tourist behavior in Thailand's popular destinations. Now, I've seen something like this during the night on the beach, and we often get stories of indecency in Patong Beach area specifically, but broad daylight.
Yeah, 15 minutes too. That's about 14 minutes more than I would need. But anyways, don't do it, everybody. Especially, excuse me, sorry. Too early for these jokes. But I don't know. Some people, you get that romance in the air, that love is in the air vibe, and you forget that you're just locked into the person. You forget you're
the rooms are quite affordable, man. Yeah, I'm sure they have rooms, but they're just again, people just thinking that there are no rules here.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever they want, wherever they want.
You've never been swept up in a romantic moment, my friend?
Not in broad daylight in Patong Beach with hundreds of people around me.
Some people, hey, no king
I guess I have that much self-control.
Some people are exhibitionists, man. Some people want you to look, but who knows?
I guess.
There's families walking around there. It's definitely not the time or place. Yeah. I'll agree with that. All right. Well, anyways, speaking of tourists, our next story has to do with the new digital arrival card, which is set to launch and replace the paper forms. That's right. Thailand will introduce its digital arrival card, or TDAC, on May 1st. That's coming up this week, replacing the old TM6 paper system for international travelers. Visitors must apply for the TDAC at least 3 days before arrival via sea, air, or land. The digital system, integrated with immigration biometrics, aims to streamline entry procedures and strengthen criminal background checks. Authorities say the update boosts efficiency and helps combat transnational crime. Applications for the TDAC open on April 28th. That's today.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, can we have more information on this? It is still kind of vague as to, can you apply for it once you arrive? What if you forget? What are the consequences? Are they going to deport me back?
Yeah, 3 days in advance for now. I mean, they'll be running them in tandem, I think, with the TM6, but it is set to replace it eventually. So, one of the major things about this too is the fact that so many they're really trying to track the criminals right now. We've seen a lot of these transnational organizations, and hopefully that will help them to crack down. Also, probably that affects more people's lives. streamlining the process of visas and immigration
Let's
here.
be honest, it's going to be a bit rough at the start, like when most things take change in Thailand. And a lot of people are going to forget, or, they're going to be like, can we do it at the airport? Most probably you would be able to. I wish I could give you a concrete answer, but we never have a concrete answer for a lot of many things in Thailand. So unfortunately, we can just give you the updates as they come along.
As they say, TIT, this is Thailand. You got to learn the rules.
Well, for our next story, this is a little bit of a fun wowzer, I guess, depending on how you look at it. This is an only in Thailand moment. Chiang Rai man detained after claiming to be a mythical serpent. Have you ever thought to yourself that you're a mystical creature? Well, police and military forces in Chiang Rai detained a 43-year-old man who claimed to be a mythical serpent deity, alarming villagers in Munai Meshan district on April the 26th. He was found armed with knives and behaving erratically. He resisted officers by chanting and sticking out his tongue. Authorities calmed him by pretending to create holy water. The man was taken to Meshan Hospital for a medical evaluation and awaits further care by his relatives. Look, I mean, without making fun of this person, obviously he's going through some sort of mental distress. But Snake Man in Chiang Rai, I guess.
Oh, it's pretty wild, too. You got to wonder, he's freaking me out. I got to tell you, looking at that. But I think it's really interesting how the Thai police are really creative about how they try to calm down situations where they're like, hey, come on. You're a holy deity, right? Well, here's some holy water, like sprinkle it on you.
And deeply religious people as well. Like they do often take some sort of seriousness into these kinds of incidents. So they're like, okay, look, maybe he's been enchanted or he's going through something. So like maybe we should get some holy water and ward off the evil spirits, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's what the police were thinking when they were doing it, but humoring the notion, man. I think. Yeah. How very interesting. And yeah, it's weird to see. You got to wonder how much of this is just like there's not a lot of mental health support in Thailand in the first place. This kind of brings that to light, but also substance abuse. Who knows what kind of drugs might have been involved as well too.
¿Dónde estás los drogas?
In that guy's system, I would imagine. But in any case, a weird story.
Yeah,
gotta tell you.
There we go.
Well, that'll do it, guys, for our Thailand section of the news. Before we get into the ASEAN section, we'll hear a quick word from our sponsor. Tan, take it away.
Wow, what a refreshing break. Thank you so much for Easy Markets for sponsoring the show and giving us a well-needed break during the show.
And mugs. We got mugs.
We do have mugs.
Lovely.
There is water and coffee in here most of the time.
Yeah. It's more like a tea party.
There we go.
I love it. All right. Well, anyways, guys, like I said, we are now on to our ASEAN Now section of the news. And our first stop is going to be Phnom Penh, where we have a story that is pretty reminiscent of one earlier in the show. A knifeman has been arrested after a stabbing incident in Phnom Penh. Why is everyone getting so stabby? A man suspected of mental instability, I think pretty much confirmed, was arrested after stabbing a bystander on Street 211 in Phnom Penh on April 26th. The attack left the victim with only superficial injuries, thank goodness, as the knife blade broke during the assault. After fleeing, the suspect was quickly apprehended by police. Authorities seized a durian knife, pliers, and a bag from the man who had recently been released from prison. He is now being processed for court proceedings and should be heading back to prison pretty soon. Fortunately, the knife broke.
Yeah.
Good thing your assaulter doesn't have good quality knife skills.
I guess.
But pretty scary stuff.
Sorry, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze.
Uh-oh. All right. Preemptive. God bless you.
Okay.
Oh, now I wasted it.
Sorry. All right, we're going to move on to our next story that takes us regarding Malaysia to hold special parliament session on U.S. tariff hikes. The tariffs have been freaking out all the countries, no different in the ASEAN region, as Malaysia will convene a special parliament session on May the 5th to discuss the economic impact of U.S.-imposed tariffs and the government's response. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim stressed the need for unity and highlighted Malaysia's significant semiconductor exports to the U.S. Two ministers have been sent to negotiate with American officials. Although the tariffs are currently suspended for 90 days, Malaysia rejects unilateral tariff hikes, calling for fair multilateral trade practices.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Everybody working together. Yeah, I think that's the thing right here. The key is it's 90-day suspension. So we have. Is this going to be the constant? Like, are we just going to do this every 90 days, where we have to figure out is this happening? Is it not happening?
Who do we talk to? What's going on?
I mean, that's exactly the markets don't like instability, and obviously with the U.S. markets, that's at the whims of kind of our political leadership, but other countries are going to try and find ways to maybe build new trading relationships to get away from this sort of wacky instability of the tariffs. Will they, won't they?
Absolutely.
That's going on. But anyways, we'll see what happens. All right, well, on to our next story, which takes us over to Vietnam and the controversial practice of issuing death sentences for drug-related crimes, as 9 have been sentenced to death in Vietnam for smuggling 91 kilograms of drugs. No small amount. 9 people, including ringleader Tien Hong Tin, were sentenced to death by a Ho Chi Minh City court for trafficking 91 kilograms of drugs from Cambodia to Vietnam. The network concealed narcotics in air purifiers and motorbikes between December 2022 and April of 2023. Authorities seized large quantities during raids, and Tin was found to have earned nearly 50,000 USD from the operation. The court imposed the harsh penalties to reflect the severity of the crime.
There we go. Crime doesn't pay, guys. Stop dealing with drugs.
Yeah, what's unclear is what kind of drugs. Like 91 kilograms, no matter what it is certainly a lot, and particularly. Yeah, what I don't like about the story is that 9 people are being sentenced. That is a big amount, and what the roles are. Like the ringleader, sure, that's one of them. What are the roles of the other people? Were they coerced into it? Were they tricked into smuggling? We've seen so many cases where people didn't know that they were smuggling drugs and were lured by jobs or something like that, and ended up being unwitting participants in the operation. So what I don't like is the lack of transparency about who actually did what in this case, but sentenced to death no matter what. So tough for me.
Well, some good moves being taken by Indonesia right now, where Indonesia is urging regions to enforce smoke-free area policies. Good news for non-smokers in Indonesia, as Indonesia's health ministry has called on regional governments to actively implement smoke-free area policies to curb secondhand smoke exposure, particularly among the youths. The push follows the issuance of Government Regulation Number 28 of 2024, aimed at addressing rising smoking rates. Officials stressed the need for participatory, well-aligned local regulations and highlighted the importance of cross-sectoral cooperation to strengthen enforcement and improve public health protections nationwide.
Yeah, this is it's a big deal in Indonesia. Indonesia is one of the strongest smoking cultures in the world. Like, I remember seeing some Vice documentaries about how they use it like for all sorts of health benefits, and there's like witch doctors that use tobacco and stuff. So I think the government is making major pushes to re-educate the public on the dangers of smoking. Yeah, and seeing policies like this enacted are a further reflection of that.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some of the stories from across Thailand and ASEAN. Now, you can find more stories on thetiger.com or visit any of these stories and have your say at Thailand's largest news forum.
Missed by Q, ASEANnow.com.
Yeah.
If you like that story, please like and subscribe. And for more Thailand news, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok at The Thaiger, or you can go to thetiger.com and join the conversation.